What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cab show. We got the first round of the NBA playoffs. It's almost over. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets. They advanced. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I don't think Jokic should win his third MVP of the NBA. Absolutely not. I'm looking at Jokic. I watched him play last night, and I'm thinking, man, he's like a poor man's Dirk Nowitzki, dude, if that. And I'm thinking, how did this guy win MVP last year? Like, seriously, Jokic? Like, that's your guys' MVP in the NBA? I'm amazed by it. I cannot believe it. Watching him play, I'm thinking, man, he's missing shots. He looks like really just, I don't know, sometimes he just looks really soft out there. Yes, I understand, he comes from a hard background, whatnot, but I'm looking at Jokic and thinking, dude, how's this guy the MVP of the NBA? Like, this guy's washed up, it looks like, and I don't know. Yes, he gets a lot of rebounds, he facilitates, he does this and that, but he missed a lot of open jumpers last night, and I was just like, man, everybody's looking at this guy like he's the MVP of the NBA. This guy isn't even in my top 5 right now. I'm not trying to disrespect Jokic in any way, shape, or form, but it's just like, dude, this guy is not the MVP of the NBA. Absolutely not. I mean, the Denver Nuggets are nice. I do not see him even making it to the NBA Finals. I think the two teams that are going to make it out west are going to be the Golden State Warriors or the Los Angeles Lakers. Whoever wins out of those two teams are going to win it all in the NBA this year. That's just how it's going to be. You cannot count out Golden State. Absolutely not. I mean, the series is tied 2-2. They're going back to Sacramento. I think Golden State has this. I really do. I mean, you got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, not to mention Draymond Green. Even though I do think Draymond Green, I think it's his last year in Golden State. I really do. He's not the same Draymond Green as he once was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Draymond Green could actually hit threes, could hit open shots, not just play defense and, rough them up and get rebounds. But I'm saying more offensive wise. Draymond's not that player anymore. I could see him getting released and then even bringing a guy like Marcus Smart on the Boston Celtics. Somebody that's an all-around great player on both sides of the court. Whereas we look at Draymond and say he's kind of a one-dimensional player now. He's no offensive threat anymore. He's not going to shoot any more threes like he once did. It's just like Draymond's a one-dimensional player now. He's a great defensive player. Even to say great right now, he fouls a lot. Just does some silly stuff. But I just think, Golden State right now, they got Jordan Poole. I think all around, they're probably the better shooting team than any team in the NBA, obviously. But I'm looking at the Sacramento Kings. I mean, dude, they got some ball players on their team, and I think they're well coached. And I think if they stay disciplined, they can beat the Golden State Warriors. But in a 7-game series, it's going to be hard. It's just going to be hard. I mean, Sabonis is nice on the Kings. I think, Sabonis, which is crazy that the Indiana Pacers had Sabonis at one point, and they were like, hey, dude, it's smart to release Sabonis. Like, really? Dude, I'm looking at the Indiana Pacers. They didn't make the playoffs this year. I mean, look what they did. I mean, they let go of Kawhi Leonard years ago, even though I do think Kawhi's not a superstar anymore. I mean, just the Indiana Pacers are just a small market team, and they continue to make mistakes after mistakes, and it makes sense why they missed the playoffs this year. But, back to the Warriors, I'm telling you right now, I think Steph Curry, nobody can guard Steph Curry in the NBA. That's just the reality of it. No, I mean, you can try to contain Steph Curry, hold him to a certain amount of threes, but at the end of the day, I think the Warriors, they live and die by the three, and if they're hitting their three, they can win it all again and repeat this year. I really believe in the Warriors, but now the downside of the Golden State Warriors this year is their defensive, the way they play defense, the way they give up second chance opportunities, and I'm looking at the Warriors and saying that is something bad. You're not going to win an NBA championship doing that type of stuff, giving second chance opportunities for the offense. That's not how it's going to work. So I think the Warriors, man, they got to win Game 5 here. If they go down 3-2, going back to Golden State, yes, they play great, but in a 7-game series, I do not want to see this series go 7 games. If the Warriors want to win, they need to win now and win in 6, dude. They got to. They got to win in 6 here. They got to win 2 straight. That's what I think, but I still like the Warriors over the Kings. And then we got my Los Angeles Lakers. Shout out to LeBron James. They're up 3-1 in the series, and Game 4 was amazing. Game 4, they're down by 2. LeBron James. A lot of people say he's not clutch. He doesn't have the clutch gene. Well, he tied it up to go to overtime, to force the overtime. They were down 2. LeBron hit that layup, threw it high off the glass for a reason, dude, and nailed it. That's clutch for me. They won in overtime, but I'm looking at Anthony Davis yet again, and I'm saying, Anthony Davis, where are you at? There's some games where Anthony Davis shows up and dominates, and then there's other times where it's like Anthony Davis doesn't even want to be on the court, dude. And I'm looking at AD saying, how? How are you going to do this? How are you going to half-ass some possessions? You know, it sometimes irritates me watching Anthony Davis play. It's just like, dude, he needs to hit the weight room. He really does, but I think the supporting cast for the Los Angeles Lakers for LeBron, dude, is something special. I mean, Austin Reeves right now, if we were to say 4 months ago, Austin Reeves would be, you know, a dynamic offensive threat for the Los Angeles Lakers, I would have laughed at you. But now, look at him. I'm telling you, they're running this offense through Austin Reeves, and I think it's smart. You know, he's creating his shots, creating opportunities, driving to the basket, hitting his open threes, hitting his open shots. And I think for LeBron, this is the first time in his career where really he's kind of like, hey, I'm going to let the young guys kind of, you know, facilitate right now. You know, we're winning in the series. You know, we're looking nice right now. We're up 3-1. You know, let me let the young guys get their time here. You know, LeBron's been in the league 20-plus years, dude, since he was 18. So for LeBron, he's always carried the load. And I think really this is his first time where LeBron finally has some help here, you know, from his supporting cast, his bench. I like his bench as well. I just think for the Lakers, man, Anthony Davis is the X factor here. If the Los Angeles Lakers want to win NBA championship, LeBron James' fifth NBA championship, it starts with Anthony Davis, dude. Like, everything's through Anthony Davis. I mean, D'Angelo Russell's nice. He's hitting his shots. But Anthony Davis, he's going to have to every night give 20 plus a game. 20 points, 20 rebounds. That's what I expect from Anthony Davis. I mean, that's what we got from LeBron in Game 4, 2020 since Shaq back in 04. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. And it's crazy that LeBron James at the age of 38 is still doing this stuff. You know, still putting up crazy numbers, still dominating the NBA, still can score whenever he wants. You know, that's just how it is. But I'm looking at the Memphis Grizzlies and going, yeah, all they really have is, yes, they got Bane, but John Morant, I mean, what, dropped 45 in Game 4? Yet they still lost, or that might have been Game 3. But for John Morant, it's just like that's really all they got. And John Morant's so young in the NBA right now, where I think he's really developing right now. Still got to mature, you know, a lot of off the court issues. But I'm looking at John Morant saying, hey, you know, if you guys want to win an NBA championship in Memphis, man, it starts with Ja. It really does. And they got to surround better players around for John Morant. You know, it sucks that a couple players went down for the Memphis Grizzlies. Adams went down. I'm looking at Memphis and saying, hey, this is the reality here. You know, you guys call LeBron James old. You know, you want to talk all this nonsense, you know, with Brooks and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you're talking to the king here. You're talking to LeBron, and you guys are down 3-1. And you guys are the number 2 seed. Okay, the Lakers are the 7th seed. You guys should be up 3-1, not the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's funny how it goes, the narrative. But at the end of the day, I think the Lakers could take Game 5 here. Even if they don't, I like the Lakers in 6 to win it back in L.A. But I think the Lakers can win in Memphis, and it starts with Anthony Davis, dude. He's got to get out to a fast start. You know, I'm tired of Anthony Davis pouting, looking at the refs, you know, complaining and stuff. It's like, Anthony Davis, come on, dude. You're a champion. You won in 2020 with LeBron. Like, this is your year again. Like, this is a great opportunity. I mean, especially if the Warriors lose to the Kings, like, there's no excuse for that. I just think the Lakers and Warriors are going to be a crazy matchup. Whoever wins that's going to win it all. That's what I think. But I'm looking at the Lakers and saying Anthony Davis got to step up. You know, D'Angelo Russell, he's got to step up as well, elevate his game. But we know LeBron's going to do what LeBron does, facilitate, look for the open man, make the best play possible at that certain situation, whether it's shooting the three, going to the basket, you know, posting up, looking for the open three-pointer from the other side. Just so many different things that LeBron James does where it's kind of unnoticed if you're watching it on TV. You know, a lot of people who watch these games, they just watch what's going on with the ball. Where's the ball out? But they don't watch the other players, what they're doing, setting screens, you know, creating open shots for the other men. You know, that's what they're doing, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just watch the ball and that's it, dude. There's so much more in basketball just watching the ball. You got to watch the other players, what they're doing, what LeBron's doing, what he's telling his teammates what to do. It's just, the IQ for basketball for LeBron James, it's absolutely insane. It's one of the best basketball minds that I've ever seen. It's a point guard to a T mind, like a Steve Nash mind, dude. It's crazy how smart LeBron James really is on the basketball court. So I think the Lakers, as far as, you know, Anthony Davis and LeBron James takes them, as far as they'll go, yeah, do I believe that they can win an NBA championship? Absolutely. I think they can win it this year. You know, we go to last year and say, wow, LeBron James missed the NBA playoffs, to this year, he can win it all this year, win his 5th NBA championship. And I think this is very important for LeBron James' legacy to win 5 championships compared to 4. You do not want to win 4. I mean, Steph Curry has 4 after all. You know what I'm saying? Like Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, they all have 4 right now. Yes, I understand, KD went over there back in 2018, 17 time, which I thought was kind of, really, it was a bitch made move. Excuse my language, it really was. It was just not a smart move. I thought, looking back at the history of the NBA and saying, would Magic Johnson, would Larry Bird, would Michael Jordan do these things? Isaiah Thomas, the back in the legends back in the day. No, they don't team up and join. But I could say that about LeBron back in 2010 though as well, for him going to the Heat and all this stuff. I do think LeBron kind of transcended that to what it is today. But at the end of the day, I do think LeBron James to win this year in 2023 is absolutely huge for him and his legacy. I think he needs to win this year. I really do. Because if LeBron James doesn't win this year, then what? We're going to get a lot of people in the media backlash LeBron. Even if LeBron James does win this year, he'll still get hate. That's just how it is. Like, people hate LeBron just to hate LeBron. Whether it's jealousy, whatever it is, they're just going to hate him. That's just what they do. It's just part of it. And I think a lot of people in society, even if they don't understand basketball, still hate LeBron James and take him for granted. This is an athlete that we're never gonna see again in our lifetime in the next 100 years, dude. Like an athlete like LeBron, dude, that's 6'8", 6'9", like 250, built like a brick, can jump 40 plus inches, dude. Like, we're never gonna see that again. There's no athlete like LeBron. So shout out to LeBron James. I think they're gonna win it in 5. That's what I said originally, even though they'll probably win in 6. But I like them to win tonight in Memphis. So I like the Lakers to go and really just mop up Memphis Grizzlies. You guys are done. All hype, all talk, all bark, no bite. So I like the Lakers over the Memphis Grizzlies. And then we got the Heat up 3-1 on the Bucks. We saw Giannis has been out a couple games with that back strain. Hopefully he is back for this because, Game 4, Jimmy Butler dropped 56. Jimmy Butler, he's a baller, dude. What's crazy is Jimmy Butler came from the JUCO League back in the day. I love that because, JUCO's like, the guys who aren't as good as the D1 players, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler got it done. No excuses, 56 points. And we saw back in the 2020 NBA Finals when they matched up against LeBron, and Jimmy Butler was getting buckets, dude. That's what Jimmy does, dude. He gets buckets. Jimmy, a.k.a. Jimmy Buckets, that's what he does. And I think that he can win this series, especially if Giannis is out. I mean, obviously, with Giannis being out, dude, the Bucks are nobodies, dude. Like, they're a below 500 team without Giannis. That's how important Giannis is, dude. And if I were to say right now, Giannis is 100% better than Jokic, dude. Absolutely. Day and night better, dude. There's just levels to this. And I think right now the NBA is kind of becoming more political, and it's silly to say, but really, Jokic, that's your guys' MVP. I would be really upset if they really give Jokic the MVP this year. I mean, dude, really? It should be Joel Embiid, really, but at the end of the day, there's so many players better than Jokic, dude. He's just fundamentally slow. Like, dude, it's silly, dude, to even talk about this, but shout out to the Heat. I do think they'll beat the Bucks, unless the Bucks come back with Giannis and then somehow a miracle happens, but I like the Heat to win probably at 6. In Miami. But, shout out to Miami Heat and Jimmy Buckets, man. That's what they do. And then we got the Suns beating the Clippers 4-1. I mean, what a shame. Looking at the Clippers, you got Paul George and Kawhi, yet they're hurt again. You know what I'm saying? We've seen this movie before. They've been hurt. It sucks. It really does, but I'm looking at Paul George and Kawhi and saying, wow, dude, you guys have been hurt a lot of times now the past couple of years. I mean, what good is your value if you can't play, especially during the playoffs, dude? The series is tied 1-1, and then Kawhi's out. And I'm looking at Kawhi and saying, wow, and a lot of people want to say Kawhi Leonard is a superstar, which I could see that. But for me, he just never was that tip-top superstar. He wasn't. I mean, we go back to 2013, Game 6 of the NBA Finals, and it's against the Heat, and the Spurs are up 2. Kawhi's at the line, and what happens? Kawhi misses one free throw, and he hits one. Same thing with Ginobili. He missed one. Tony Parker missed a free throw that game. And I'm looking at Kawhi and saying, if Kawhi makes those 2 free throws in Game 6, we're looking at a completely different scenario here. The Heat don't repeat that year. LeBron James doesn't have 4 NBA championships. so much to add on top of that. But when Kawhi missed that free throw to give a chance for the Heat, and then we saw Ray Allen hit that three in the corner in Game 6 to tie the game, and then they won in overtime. Then Game 7, LeBron takes over, and they won the repeat championship against the Spurs. And I'm looking at Kawhi and saying, Kawhi was just never that guy. He never was like, oh man, he's a baller. Yes, I get that, but when I watched Kawhi play, it wasn't like, oh man, jaw-dropping plays from Kawhi. It was more fundamental plays, just being able to get a shot off, a nice jumper. But at the end of the day, I would not call Kawhi Leonard a superstar. I just want it, dude. I just want to call him a superstar. I mean, if you're truly a superstar, you're going to be available to your team. I understand, risk, injuries. That's part of the sport, part of the game. But at the end of the day, if this continues to come up more than once, I mean, dude, I don't understand. And Paul George, he's washed up, dude. Paul George has been washed up since he left the Indiana Pacers. When he left the Pacers, Paul George has not been the same player. And what's he done since, dude? He hasn't won any NBA championships. He hasn't. Paul George, he's a great player, but not anymore, dude. He's washed up. Same thing with Kawhi. Washed up, dude. They're just done. I really had the Clippers winning the series, even with Paul George out. I had Kawhi taking over, but, Kawhi got hurt again. It's part of the game, but at the end of the day, what good is your value if you cannot play? Definitely during the key moments, in the playoffs, regular season, I understand. You can miss games during the regular season and all that. Andrew Wiggins for the Warriors missed a lot of games this season, but he's back for the playoffs. But now it's just like Kawhi's out. Paul George, you guys are done. Their season's over. The Clippers are out of the playoffs. Crazy, right? It is insane. And then we got the Boston versus the Hawks. We saw Trae Young snap off last night, hit a huge three to take the lead up 2, and they ended up winning the game 119 to 117. What's crazy is they were down by like 13 going into the fourth here, and the Hawks battle back. And I think I'm looking at Trae Young and saying Trae Young is really legit here. He is a dog. He's a beast, man, and I do think he's a future type point guard where a lot of young players are going to look up to Trae Young. And we saw him hit that three, the ice in his fades. And I think for the Hawks to win this game, they're going to have to play great. I don't think they can do it. I still like Boston. Even if Boston loses in Atlanta in Game 6, I see him winning in Game 7. But I'm telling you what, Trae Young, he battled back, and the Hawks never gave up. And that's what I loved about the Hawks in this game, was they just continue to battle. And I think defense and on the offensive end, they just never gave up. And they kept hitting their shots, and they kept battling. And Trae Young willed his way for this game to even make it a possibility of making a comeback here, and they did it. And Trae Young hit that three it was like almost a half-court shot. It was just like, holy cow. And I had a feeling, when I was watching this live, I had a feeling Trae Young was going to pull this, because when Trae Young got the ball, there's only 7 seconds, and he's kind of like lackadaisical, really wasn't in a hurry, wasn't running, kind of just like bringing the ball up the court, then all of a sudden, they just gave him one. Jaylen Brown gave him like a foot, and that's all he needed. He shot the three right in Jaylen Brown's eye, nailed it, and they were down by 1 at that time, and boom, now all of a sudden the series is 3-2 now, even though they're still down. But it's awesome. It's awesome to see these guys battle back, especially the Atlanta Hawks, where they really should have lost this game. They should have lost Game 5 in Boston, but they battled back. Shout out to Trae Young. Ice in his veins, man. Ice Trae. Shout out to Trae Young getting it done. And then we got the Knicks up 3-1 on the Cavs. This was the most surprising series for me. I thought the Cavs would definitely do way better than what they've done, with Davion Mitchell, but they just really don't have the supporting cast like the Knicks do. I mean, Knicks, Jalen Brunson, and Julius Randle, I mean, these guys, they're balling out. They are balling out, and I really kind of underestimated Jalen Brunson, dude. I mean, he's a beast, man. He's such a smart player, such a smart point guard. I like this guy. Kind of reminds me in a way a little bit of Derek Fisher and Darren Williams mixed together, but I just think the Knicks, man, they're just a better, well-rounded team than the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, can the Cavs come back with Davion Mitchell? Absolutely. Absolutely, but I think the Knicks got this wrapped up. I really do, so it's good for them. But I'm telling you right now, the Warriors or the Los Angeles Lakers are going to come out of the West. I'm telling you right now, one of those two teams are going to end up going to the championship, the NBA Finals. And then the East, it's interesting. I still like Boston. I really do, even though Boston right now is having trouble. And I've always said the dark horse out east was the Miami Heat. Nobody wanted to face the Miami Heat. I even said Miami Heat is just a tough team. Boston doesn't want to see the Heat. Nobody wants to see the Heat right now. I'm telling you, they are a dark horse. And Jimmy Butler, a.k.a. Jimmy Buckets, can put up 50 plus on any given night. And that's huge. That's huge. And I think Tyler Hero will be back eventually with that hand injury. But that's going to be interesting. But right now, I like the Lakers to win it in 5. I like LeBron James to take over, man. LeBron, this is so important, dude. He has to win 5 plus championships for his career to, be in that GOAT status. He's got to. 4's not enough. 4 NBA championships is not enough for LeBron. I need another legacy playoff push for LeBron James, kind of like they did back in 2016 when they were down 3-1 against the Warriors. I want to see something like that type of LeBron, a hungry LeBron, a possessed LeBron. That's what I want to see, and I think the Lakers are going to run it all the way, baby, with King James. It's the NBA playoffs. It's the Clyde with Cavs show. Let's go!